dear viewers, for joining us at this news live from our headquarters in Cameroon's economic capital, Douala. I am Bable Jonathan. In our top stories at this news Cameroon remains one of those countries with low life expectancy. 59 is the life expectancy of the Republic of Cameroon, and this has been attributed to the poor and very difficult living conditions of a good proportion, a high proportion of the population living below the poverty line, and also experts highlight low investment in the public sector or the public health sector by the government of the country. Road users in the country's economic capital, Douala, raising concerns over the absence of road signs, and this is adversely affecting circulation, particularly the movement of pedestrians. And out of the country, inhabitants of slums of Kenya's capital, Nairobi, are now burning plastics to be able to cook food. Life expectancy in the Republic of Cameroon today stands at 59, and this is still low compared to other countries, even on the African continent. And Cameroon is still among those countries with low life expectancy, and this has been attributed to inadequate or insufficient investment in the public health sector, and of course the difficult and very difficult living conditions of a high proportion of the population, most of them including the poor and low income earners living below the poverty line. Details in this report by Immaculate Fabwe.
According to a study published by the World Health Organization, healthy life expectancy in Africa has increased from 47 to 56 years old by the year 2000 and 2019. However, it is still below the global average of 64. According to the World Health Regional Director for Africa, the continent's health ministries should be credited for their drive to improve health and the well-being of the population. Despite the advancement in healthcare, the United Nations agency cautioned that these gains had been offset by a dramatic rise in hypertension, diabetes, and other non-communicable diseases, who noted that it is crucial for governments to step up public health financing, who equally recommends that governments looking to boost healthcare access should reduce what they qualify as catastrophic household expenditure on medicines and consultations. Central African Republic, Nigeria, and Sierra Leone have the lowest life expectancy rates, which stands at 53 and 54 years old, respectively. Meantime, Algeria, Morocco, and Tunisia tops the list with 76 years, respectively.
The absence of road signs across Cameroon's economic capital, Douala, is raising concerns. Commuters say this is adversely affecting circulation, particularly the movement of pedestrians, especially when they want to cross the roads, and in the absence of the zebra crossing, they are exposed to accidents. And this has been highlighted in a report coming up next. Anabila with the details of this report on the absence of road signs in the country's economic capital, Cameroon's economic capital, Douala, and commuters are saying that this is adversely affecting circulation, and more specifically the movement of pedestrians, especially when they want to cross the road. And in the absence of the zebra crossing, it is much more difficult for pedestrians to cross the road, especially during rush hours in Cameroon's economic capital, Douala, when traffic jam is at its peak. And in the absence of the zebra crossing across the town, it is much more difficult for pedestrians to cross the road, and they are often not exposed to accidents. And some of the commuters spoke to Anabila in this report. We'll be coming back to this report in our subsequent news editions. And now we proceed to talk about the drop in business, notably business of JCs, as a result of the change in the company that will be henceforth addressing the indomitable lions of Cameroon. And Smart Njikan Gabriel now comes back to the consequences of the decision of the Cameroon Football Federation to change its the company that will be addressing the indomitable lions of Cameroon. And now the Cameroon Football Federation signed a partnership with One All Sports, and Coq Sportif is seriously suffering the consequences of this decision of the Cameroon Football Federation, putting an end to the contract between Coq Sportif, the French company, and the indomitable lions of Cameroon. It is with Semantic and Gabriel.
At a warehouse in the central market of Douala, a stock of jerseys still to be sold by a business operator who deals on the sales of jerseys and tracksuits. The business operator, who was hoping to make big sales during the upcoming FIFA World Cup in Qatar with Cameroon's indomitable lions taking part, is demoralized after the Cameroon Football Federation stopped their contract with the kit manufacturer Coq Sportif, whose products are found in the warehouse. Some people had ordered the Coq Sportif jerseys, and because of the change of the kit manufacturer, we are forced to reduce the price to say 4,000 or 3,000 francs CFA, depending on its quality. But it is certain that no matter what we do, it's going to be a loss for us. This business operator further vented out his frustration off camera, telling us that he recently sent 35 million francs CFA for a new stock of jerseys manufactured by Coq Sportif, which are still on the way. The change of the kit manufacturer for the national football team has greatly affected even those selling, because it will be difficult for them having the new jerseys to be made by the new kit manufacturer, One All Sports. Since the change of the kit manufacturer, someone like me who sells Cameroon jerseys, I have noticed a drop in its demand as everyone is waiting for the new jerseys to be released. The business operator adds, my clients have started asking for the new jerseys, while some say they don't like the new kit manufacturer, and others are instead looking for the old kit of Cameroon produced by Puma. Cameroon, which is noted to be a sport-loving nation, will surely go for any of the national team's jerseys available when the time comes, and it will be on one condition: that the Lions put up a good show during the FIFA World Cup that will run from November 20 to December 18, 2022 in Qatar.
The people of the Nyong and Kili Division, Central Region of the Republic of Cameroon, are now looking up to the new Senior Divisional Officer to press for solutions to the multiple underdevelopment challenges affecting different parts of that administrative unit. The new Senior Divisional Officer, Valerie Nobe Kwela, has been commissioned into his functions by the Central Region's Governor, Nasiri Paul Bear. It is with Lucy Liengo.
Nyong Ekele division, according to the inhabitants, is faced with a lot of challenges, mostly in terms of poor infrastructures and land disputes. They urge the new senior divisional officer to act with a lot of tact and rigor. We have several difficulties. In terms of roads, we have bad stretches. In terms of development, we are not developed like other places. We almost have nothing, because even potable water we do not have. So we expect a lot from the new senior divisional officer. Installed by the governor of the Central Region, Paul Nasirimbia, Valerie Nobet, new senior divisional officer of Nyong and Kele Division, was reminded that his coming is not of grace but a daunting assignment. Youths of Nyong Ekele do not have jobs. This sometimes pushes most of us to consume drugs. We have most youths here who are involved in drug and consumption of hard drinks. So our wish is that the new senior divisional officer should help in sensitizing the youths and come to our rescue.
Ce que moi, en tant que jeune du département du Nyong Ekele, je souhaite que le sous-préfet nous vienne un peu en aide.
The elites also told him to respect the norms and traditions of their land.
Le Nyong Ekele, particulièrement l'homme Bassa, est très attaché au...
Nyong Ekele, mostly a Bassa man, is so much attached to his lands. It is considered as the only gift. So we hope that the new senior divisional officer will see into the land crisis plaguing and also respect our traditions and customs.
At
the end of the ceremony, the governor instructed him to be vigilant, promote peace and living together.
Cameroon's Minister of Finance, Louis-Paul Motaze, goes to war against disorder in the banking sector in the country. He has given banks and microfinance institutions in Cameroon up to the 1st of January 2023 to start implementing some 22 free-of-charge banking services decided by the Banking Commission of Central Africa, better known by its French acronym COBAC. For me, I'm Sanda reports.
The minimum banking services, otherwise known as the free-of-charge banking services, were instituted in 2011 by the Central African Banking Commission (COBAC) and the Ministry of Finance, charged with policing its strict implementation. A good document, one will say, but on the field, Cameroonians were consistently being duped by banks and microfinance institutions. There is no free service offered by any bank in Cameroon. None. They take money even for accessing the account. Microfinance institutions tells you that opening a bank account is free, but takes money when you want to close your account. Whereas the decision of the 10th of January 2011, regulated in 2022, states that the following services among 22 others are to be offered free of charge by banks. They include the opening of a bank account, the issuance of a bank identity statement, the issuance of a check booklet, the issuance of an account holder of cash withdrawal forms at the counter, the issuance of savings booklets, payment by bank cards to Cameroon-based businesses, on the spot checking of bank account by account holder, issuance of a certificate of non-indebtedness, payment by checks, cash deposit in the branch offices of the same bank, cash withdrawals from the same bank, transfer of funds from one account to another within the same bank, ATM cash withdrawals of the cash holder's bank, change of address, and the delivery/issuance on a monthly basis of a bank statement. Angered by the non-respect of this regulation, the Minister of Finance, Louis-Paul Motaze, has addressed a warning notice to banks. The minister in his note gives banking institutions January 1st, 2023 as the latest date to effectively begin the implementation of the 22 free banking services. The government says the measure is meant to provide users with the facilities to undertake banking transactions without difficulty.
Now in news out of the Republic of Cameroon, thousands of ethnic Tigrayans who had been detained in camps in northeast of Ethiopia since December are being transported back to their homes. The United Nations is facilitating the return to their homes near the border between the Afar and Tigray regions, and it said the operation will continue for a week. The government in Addis Ababa said they had been taken to the camps for their own safety as the civil war spread, but the state-run Ethiopian Human Rights Commission said they had been targeted because of their ethnicity and described the detention of around 9,000 Tigrayans as illegal. Their return comes as hopes of peace talks to try to end the civil war appear imminent. Inhabitants of slums of Kenya's capital Nairobi are now burning plastic bags to be able to cook food. This is because of the rising fuel prices in the country. Katsi Urius.
Mutorire no uthiete urituhite tondu na nginya mbeca cia makara ndionaga njukaga ngaruga na makonia ni mondo tugotaga kuu dumping site ini ngatuika wa guka kurugira ciana namo riu undu uria wiho ni nditigagira tondu nginya ni nduragwo nginya ni githuri tondu na nginya nyumba ino njikaraga ndiri nginya ndirisa ndogo iria ĩyũmbũkaga nĩ ũndũ wa makonia macio ĩtigaraga goro gũkũ nyũmba.
Kwanza vita za Ukraine kunja na COVID-19, vitu zimepanda bei, chakula zimepanda bei, ngazi imepanda bei, ndio tunatumia rondo na tena tunaenda hospitali sana juu kuafektiwa na hiyo mosi ya rondo.
Burning of these plastics produces gases. An example of the gas that is produced is actually dioxin, which is a very dangerous and toxic to human body. It predisposes an individual to non-communicable diseases such as lung cancer. It causes skin rashes because the gas is easily absorbed through the skin. It can also cause lack of oxygen and fatigue, and therefore dizziness and headaches can also be witnessed by the people who are exposed to this particular gas. It can be passed from a mother who is expectant to an unborn child vertically through the placenta. Another thing is that these gases can also be passed to animals and plants, which by very nature will end up consuming even by use of water or contaminated food.
Nikishanganya hiyo kufua kununua chakula na kununua mafuta naona ni ngumu. Sasa ndio nilianza kutumia ngunia ndio niweze kusave. Niko na mtoto secondary sana hapo form 3. Na hapo sasa kwa hiyo ngunia ndio natoa school fees na ndio natoa pesa ya chakula na nikiparua sio yangu.
Burning of plastic has a lot of serious effects on our environment. When you burn plastic, it produces the black soot. This releases a composition of several greenhouse gases like carbon dioxide and methane. And these are the gases that are primarily responsible for global warming.
Talking Point is up next. Our guest today, Jacques Mabula Mboya, is the president of the Republican Alliance political party. Mr. President, you're welcome.
To all the team and the staff, I'm happy to be your invitee tonight, and I wish the best to all Cameroonians and especially to all the internally displaced persons living in many areas of our nation.
And many of those internally displaced persons forced out of their homes by violence in the northwest and southwest regions of the country continue living in very difficult and even precarious conditions. And many of them are now looking up to you, people of the civil society and political parties, civil society and political leaders, to press for solutions and for a return to normalcy in the crisis-stricken northwest and southwest regions so that they can go back to their towns and villages.
That's our prayers, and I wish the government has the good consultants so that we can implement all the viable solutions so that all those people give us the pride of Cameroon, because as long as they will be staying elsewhere than their natural area, it will be a failure for our government and our nation.
All right, Jacques Mabula talking about the situation of IDPs, and what are some of the necessary actions or measures that should be taken for a return to normalcy sooner than later in those two regions?
In politics, if good people keep quiet, keep silent, and never do any action so that politics can become better than ever, what will happen is that bad people will handle the governance and they will do what is bad for our society, and we all be victim of bad governance. Now we need to be conscious that a good nation relies on goodwill and good action of everyone. We need to know that if ever we keep quiet, we keep silent, we are silently bound to those doing evil in our city. That's what we used to call silent complicity. Silence is complicity, because all people we are now all in the same boat, in the same plane, and we cannot see the plane going wrong and keep quiet. When you see a damage on a car you are going to take, you need to tell the driver there is a damage on the car, let's repair it before taking the road. Those silent people are just like people willing the nation to collapse, and they say, I'm not the driver, I'm not the motorboy, I'm not the owner of the car, but we are all going to die if we don't do the right action at the right time so that the car Cameroon can go the right way for the interest of all citizens.
About the fact that the good people in Cameroon are silent, say nothing, they're passive, and taking no action in view of solving the problems affecting the country and her people. Now, how serious is this problem of silence of the good people who ought to speak out for solutions to come forth?
Providing all Cameroonians good living, better living condition, access to property and so on, access to correct jobs, access to how can I say that, good salaries also, access to social solidarity, access to good health, good education, access to trust in the nation. If we don't do that, we are going to collapse like enemies, because we need to learn how to love each other, live as one family. If not, we are going to destroy the nation and die like foolish people. That's what's happening actually, because the government, one side has a language, the other side we see the population are frustrated, they are hungry, but what is going on is that bad policies are being implemented institutionally, and the poor are becoming poorest than ever. The rich people are becoming richer than ever, and there are laws protecting the richers, while we know the amount of money they have is not their natural incomes. It's usually money coming from embezzlement of funds and whatever you can imagine, corruption and so on. If we don't stop that bleeding of our nation, at a moment we are going to collapse. And when the society collapses, it is politically and socially war, civil war, because at the time there will be no food on the table of many houses. I'm sure that people will go out to find how to feed themselves. They will go out to find for solution. This has already happened in many countries. I don't believe that we are an exception. When food lacks on the table, when better living conditions are compromised, I'm sure the next step is going to frustration, and then the last step is the stabilization of the nation. That when you say so, you know.
Now, many of those who are doing nothing, who are staying silent, hide behind the word apolitical. Most of them say, in quotes, I don't do politics. But is it possible for a citizen to completely stay away from politics?
Complice of the system. There is nobody apolitical, because when you say you are apolitical, when you go somewhere there is no hospital, you are facing bad governance. You are facing what you say, I am apolitical, but now you are going to do politics because you will say, in my village there is no hospital. When there is no energy, where there is no water, you cannot be apolitical, because politics deal about better living conditions. And those who don't want to get involved in politics are those responsible of our bad living condition, because they are just encouraging the system to go in the wrong way. They need to say something. No, that is not the right way to go. We need to go the right way, and the right way is maybe at the left side or at the right side, because I'm seeing the way the road is. We need to stop. And what I would like to say again is that silent people are hypocrite people. Nobody has to stay quiet while the nation is going very bad. Everyone is concerned, from the children to the old people. We need to get involved in that battle, because it's a battle of every citizen. It's a battle of better living conditions for everyone. When there is water, there is water for everyone. When there is road, it's road for everyone. When there is peace, it is peace for everyone. We are in the same boat. If the boat sinks, we are going all to sink with the boat. That is, nobody can say today, I'm apolitical. There is nobody apolitical when there is fire in the nation. Everyone should try to bring his own cup of water to quench the fire, and then provide national construction for everyone.
Earlier you said the nation is bleeding. How bad is the socio-economic situation of Cameroon today and her people?
The nation is bleeding. You know, at the far north there, Kolofata, you have people dying every day from Boko Haram. You have the military who are dying in the north, in the northwest region, the southwest region. You have people dying, from kids to grandmothers and so on. You have also our military that are involved in those battles who are dying. Physiologically, we are bleeding. Financially, we are bleeding. Socially, we are bleeding. Morally, we are bleeding. Culturally, we are bleeding. We are bleeding at a rate that I'm sure that if nothing is done today, tomorrow there will be a breakdown of the nation. Breakdown why? Because we will have less and less means to solve our problems. I do believe in certain areas actually it is difficult to pay the citizen working daily. I do believe there are areas where we cannot collect any more financial resources or produce. I take the example of CDCs and other companies that were producing in the northwest and southwest region. I will take again example of taxes we were supposed to collect in those areas. I take example of companies that were supplying goods in those regions. I take again example in Kuseri or Kolofata, where all people are running because of Boko Haram. We are bleeding every day, but what makes me sad is that it's just like the government are not conscious of the fact that this global bleeding of the nation is what will bring us. That is what will bring us down. I don't want Cameroon to go down, because Once we are down, we don't know for how long, we don't know when we are going to rise up again as one nation, and it will be very, very, very regrettable for all. I do believe that there are wise people at the governance. I trust Dr. Chief John Gute. I trust many other people from the Anglophone regions with their wisdom, so that they can try and bring on the table a roadmap of peaceful solution of all those crises we are facing in the nation. But what will be better is, again, social dignity, human dignity. We should put it as the first step for a better Cameroon.
Now, I want to pick on the last thing that you just said. How can that be achieved? Having humanity at the center of everything that is done.
But telling those people, we cannot pay somebody 32,000 or 36,000 as income, and we say he can live with that. It is not possible. We should be right. The other name of slavery is bad institution. Slavery has never stopped, because when you don't pay sufficiently, your collaborators, your workers, they are just like slaves, because they are living in a very bad condition. The chains we had yesterday on the foot of our ancestors and on their necks had become institutional chains. That is, they will impose you a bad living condition so that you accept whatever you see to do. See the way people are feeding themselves today. If it is not gari, if it is not concha, if it is not what we know as less vitamin foods, why you are going to eat what? Rice? Things coming abroad? No. We have enough of food in this nation. We need just to produce and condition them so that people can find good and comfortable jobs. We need just to trust ourselves, and in terms of competence, in terms of ingenuity, in terms of intelligence, because we have enough of intelligence in Cameroon, and we don't need to bring political division among us, tribal divisions, religious, philosophical division between us. We need to look for competence. We need to look for skills that will bring Cameroon forward and forward. Our nation is just like a train. You have the head of the train that determines the speed of the global train. If the head of the train is wrong, we are all going to collapse. That's why I'm telling we need to put the right people at the right person at the right place for right political issues. If you bring that on the table, Cameroon will rise up as a powerful nation in global Africa.
Now, because of the bleeding state of the nation, as you described earlier, life expectancy is still quite low in Cameroon, 59 years, despite the slight increase on the African continent. It's still at 59 in Cameroon. What's your analysis of this, and how can these figures be raised to a considerable level?
When there is no hope in a society, there is inner destruction of humans. There is stress, psychological stress, there is psychological disease. The main suffering of Cameroonian today is the lack of hope and opportunity. Because when someone has one wife, 2, 3, 4 children, and the revenue is not enough for everyone, and he realizes that even when my children will finish his school, the only option for him is going abroad to desert and so on. What happens is that you start dying slowly and silently. And when you are in such a condition, you cannot live long. That's the first step. Second step is also bad environment we are living into. The cost of feeding families today is so high that we are obliged to eat what is coming abroad. And what is coming abroad is not safe. It's not secure for us. It is a failure. The responsibility of a government is to provide safe, secure, and healthy food to its nation. And for that, we need to stop what is coming abroad. Because the best war today is not noisy war. It's silent war. Silent war is killing the others with weapons that don't make noise. It is with virus, it is with poison foods, it is with many other foods that will bring to you cancer, tension, and so hypertension, and so on. Don't believe that other country loves us. No, they can bring to you cheaper food. I do remember a senator in America said they had poison food and sent those food in Africa for more than 5 years, and there was subvention for that. There was many money for that. I do believe we need to produce and come back to our roots. Our roots was a family, a poultry, a farm, and so on. The government should provide Cameroonians means to modernize the agriculture so that we can eat at least 80 to 90% of what is coming from our grassroots, so that people can become healthy. It is possible. Why people are going from the village to the city? Because the village has no means to value what they have as land. They don't have the good tools, they don't have enough energy and financing to valorize what they have in their villages. So they are coming to the city where they can propose them maybe jobs, providing better income and so on. Whereas we had provided them some tools that can increase their income in rural areas, never and never they would have come in the cities. And I do believe there is something to be done in that way. That's why I am implementing a school for skills and jobs in this nation by addressing a demand to modernize our agriculture and provide better rural jobs to the youth and all the citizens living in rural areas.
Right, Jacques Mabula Boya, President of Republican Alliance Political Party, thank you for your time today.
You are welcome. Thank you again, Mr. Babila.
Thank you, dear viewers, for staying with us. That's it for today's edition of the 6 p.m. primetime newscast on Equinoxe Television. Coming up in less than half an hour, Equinoxe live from Yaoundé with Cesar Lunto. Stay with us.